Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of Algorand, taking a look at the most recent price action and what I would expect to happen next. Now as I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. Link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. So let's jump right down into today's video, kicking things off with the 1 hour time frame here. So as you can kind of see, Algorand has pushed up with the rest of the market a little bit here, but it has been a little bit lackluster, as in it's been a poor performance, I guess in good old Algorand fashion. 18.24% since the 19th of October. Now, with that being said, it has pushed up. It hasn't really broken out of any kind of major kind of structural moves to the downside. Okay, we need to kind of be aware of these things. So if we kind of simplify what's going on here, it's a three-wave corrective pattern. I'll show you what that looks like, even though we've got the zigzags internally. It's a three-wave drop here and we start to move back up. Now, what's interesting about this is if we take the low from here, you can see that we are yet to breach it. That basically means we do have this idea that we can still push up just a little bit further here for Algorand, potentially just above our swing high right here at 10.7 cents. So we are going to be looking at this as a three-wave pattern where we can kind of see a potential push to the upside here. Okay, now this is actually going to span from our originating location for our wave 4. Our wave 4 crossing our wave 1, which is an interesting kind of diagonal based structure. We'll probably have to look at that on the daily in a moment. But as you can kind of see here, we have this idea that we can potentially push up higher. My concern is, though, that we potentially have topped out already at 10.7, and this is all corrective action to the downside where we actually are looking at slipping down into these lows at around 7 cents. So there's a few things to kind of be keeping in mind there. I don't think it's a great idea to be thinking that we have terribly too much more to the upside on Algorand. I don't think we're going to pierce 10.7 if I'm being truthfully honest with you. I think ultimately we are looking more towards the downside than to the upside. Now, when I take this out towards our daily time frame, you can see Algorand most recently had its bear market low point on the 17th of August 2023 at 8.2 cents. This is still in a very bearish structure for Algorand. As you can kind of see if I zoom out here, we are below the 200 EMA. The 200 EMA is our trend filter. Okay, so this essentially means that we look at the 200 EMA as a way of saying we are bearish. Now, this is if you do not follow things like smart money concepts, or if you do not follow Elliott wave theory, which has different ways of dictating whether you are in a trend or not. From a simplistic point of view, if you're below the 200 EMA, you're bearish, and if you're above it, you're bullish, right? So if you don't follow any of the other more complicated charting methods, then the 200 EMA, you can see here, has been our resistances and is our trend filter indicating that we are bearish here. Now, smart money concepts, as you can kind of see, is also saying that we are bearish. That has not changed. We are remaining in this bearish structure for Algorand. Now, there are a few rallies that we've seen. So we saw a rally over here in December 2022. It was a move of 87%. We saw another rally over here, which I think was June 2022, upwards to our 200 EMA at 67%. We had seen a few recent kind of pushes to the upside, I guess trying to liquidate some of those longs where possible, a 55% move there. And most recently, from the lows that we saw in August, we had a move up of 33%. It's possible that we can push up a little bit more, as I said, but I just don't think that's likely to be the case. My expectations are more that Algorand is going to continue heading down towards that 7 cent range. Now, from our structure here on our daily time frame, there isn't terribly too much more to try and talk about. We have most recently taken a move above the 50 EMA and 50 SMA. That's the yellow and red lines, which have also been historically areas of resistance. So we could maybe look at this as an early breakout situation. I just don't think that's really the case. It wouldn't be the first time that we had crossed these areas and still come on back down again. So just be aware that ultimately the 50 EMA and 50 SMAs are weaker than that of the 200 EMA. So for the most part, Algorand here remains in its bearish structure. I think considering we had that idea that we have this kind of three-wave move here, I don't think that's likely to be the case. I think we've actually already completed a three-wave move here like this, and we're actually looking for this move to the downside next, which also appears to want to be a three-wave pattern at the moment, taking us down lower into a new bear market low point. Now, as I said, there was a five-wave pattern, right? This five-wave pattern has invalidated the idea of it being an impulsive pattern by the wave 4 crossing the wave 1. Now, with that noted, we can acknowledge that this basically makes it a big three-wave correction to this downside rather than a five-wave move. And so the big issue here would be that this is potentially just a W wave. All of this was our X wave, and we then have that move taking us down deeper. Now, this would actually put us in a more bearish situation than the five-wave count that we were monitoring. So in an ideal world, we would have preferred to have kept that five-wave count, because this one now shows us moving down towards 5.5 to 6.27 cent. So we want to be a little bit aware that this is actually now more bearish because we invalidated that five-wave count. In an ideal world, we would have actually preferred not to have so much price movement to the upside and actually have just taken the L a little bit sooner. But ultimately, it is now looking not so good on this front for Algorand. So we'll keep a close eye on it, but for the most part, that's kind of where that sits. As you can kind of see, weekly is still tracking a five-wave move, which means we can be looking at a diagonal overall within that fifth wave movement. So it's always a possibility that we do finish that off. Now, if this is the case, we have kind of finished off this kind of fifth wave here by truncating it. We are still in that fourth wave movement. This would actually then project out, about 6.9 cent on the final fifth wave movement. If we go up and do rally up a little bit higher, which would be unexpected, then of course the higher that wave 4 goes, the lower that wave 5 goes. So as you can kind of see, we in the end game here for Algorand, this would be, in my opinion, the last possible point for Algorand before we get a significant surge to the upside. So it's going to take a little bit of time to play out, but for the most part, we're kind of heading along quite nicely there and seeing how that one plays out. But guys, I think that is going to finish off today's video. If you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. Link is down in the description down below. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.